3, 2, 1, go. Go, 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 go.
Recording in progress.
We're recording this episode. It's the first transatlantic one. It's my first Canadian optician. She was in the final for the very best optician in the world. We were just getting into it, and then there was a bit of crackle. So you're watching part 2, okay? You were just.
But you changed your glasses. Well, maybe I need to change mine.
All right. I like your aviators a lot. I like them a lot. Oh, love that. Look at how it fits.
Okay.
I love that. I love
Perfect. Face to face.
I love face to face. The little shoes at the tip.
Oh. The Boca. Yes.
The Boca. I'm wearing what am I wearing here? A Kirk and Kirk. 3 generations down. Love a Kirk.
I love Kirk and Kirk. I have talked to Jason many times, and I'm actually looking at the collection again in April, I believe.
Do you know that Wu, I think Wu is a diffusion range of FAS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what might be quite fun is that you and I do a little, do a bit of knowledge, see who's got the most knowledge about frames. I don't think I'll ever be able to match you, ever.
I don't know, but remember, there's different products in North America than that would be over in the UK.
And how is your lens game? Are you as good as lenses as you are frames?
Right now, I'm pretty experienced in lenses, but I feel like the lenses, they continue to evolve and change. So what was once the Essilor comfort lens, where we put all of our patients into those lenses,
Love
and they
a
were
comfort.
Like
we're talking about XR now.
And now there's like, this is also how I'll explain to my clients, is there's more progressives than there are cars on the road.
And they've got to a point. I'm not associated with any of them, but I think they've got to a point where they're so good, there's hardly any difference between right now, this is what I've got in here is a Rodenstock Big Exact. It won best lens in Europe. In this one, we've got an Essilor X. Yours?
I'm wearing the Shamir Autograph lens.
Ooh, that's a good lens.
Is a lovely lens, and it's a newer company for me. I've been using that lab for about a year, but the results are incredible. My patients, especially, I find that a lot of the clients come to me have not worn progressives yet, and they're now in their 50s or mid 50s. And having to take them from no prescription into a progressive, that's always a scary step for an optician. And so the lens choice is really important. And so I always educate them before we even go into that direction.
I've got a saying with progressives that half the collection is done on dispense. You're going to tell them they're going to move their nose. They want to move their head a little more, and it will take a little bit of time to get used to. If without that bit, they come in expecting to put them on and run and go and play a game of tennis, right? You've got to tell them to take it easy.
Yes. Just a couple of days ago, I said to one of my clients, I said, I'm marking you in my schedule. I will follow up in 2 weeks. I do not want to hear from you for 2 weeks, because there's that client that they sometimes overanalyze what's going on, and I just want them to put them on and go with their day with ease. And
some people are just not like that. Some people put them on, run out, then don't stop until the evening. And there'll be others that are like super critical, engineering type, want to know how everything works. And I think that's part of the challenge of our job.
It is, but it comes down to communication. It's when there's the lack of communication, which I find a lot of people out there, and I don't know what's happening in the UK, but over here in Canada, people are going into the optical stores and not getting the support that they're looking for. Is that happening over there?
Do you know what drives me crazy? And I think it's because we've got 3 decades under our belt, you and I. I went in to see an optician. I won't name the optician. And there was a Down syndrome child in there. And do you know how cute they are? Down syndrome, so cute. But their facial characteristics are slightly different, right? So this young child was wearing an adult Ray-Ban frame, and her tip of her ear, like the end tip, was near there.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
I said, hold on, we need to take a beat here. And they're all trying to adjust the glasses. It's not going to work. Okay, that bit should be 35 mil. For anyone that doesn't know, about 35 mil. So I went to the store, and on the shelf they had a lot of Ray-Bans. I took a child's Ray-Ban. I took off the lens
temple.
the 145 155, and I just put a child's one on. Fixed, all done.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but knowing that kind of stuff takes years. I remember maybe about a year ago there was a man, and he came in and he couldn't find what he was looking for, and he actually found something he loved. I love this. And then about 10 minutes later he walked out, and I said, hold on, why are you going? He said, oh, I didn't like the orange end tips. I said, just hold on, what colour do you want? He said, black. I put one up. I put a black one. I said, we've done it. $1,000 would have gone out the door. Like, for something.
But that's the thing. If you weren't there, that $1,000 would have walked out the door. And that's what, when you have a team and you're working with a team and training the team, they need to know those things too. But again, it doesn't happen every single day. So they're not going to learn that in their first 3 months of being employed.
That might happen once a year, once every other year.
Yeah, exactly.
On the train to work this morning, I saw this man. He had silhouettes on. Silhouette rimless. You know this brand?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. 30 years, remember?
So it was like, he's wearing these silhouettes, and they were crooked. And one was closer to his face than the other. And I said to him, because in London, people don't speak to each other on the underground. They think you're crazy. I said, look,
Right.
I'd really love to adjust your glasses for you. They're all over the place. And he took it pretty well. I gave him my card. I said, I'd do it. I can't stand badly fitted glasses. I want to see them.
I'm with you. Exactly. I was in Las Vegas last year with my husband. We're sitting at an outdoor bar watching the game kind of at the communal lounge. And the gentleman across the end, no, it was at the Bellagio. And
let's
so we were
let's name drop. Let's go. You're at the Bellagio.
We're by the pool.
Living your
We're
best
by the
life.
pool,
All right.
And I look over and there's this gentleman. He's got these sunglasses on. They're Ray-Bans. And
can you tell me the model?
It was a Wayfair-ish light
Oh
style.
man, do you know how sad I'm? People walk in. This happened again. This happened a few days ago. Someone walked in, because I move around. I'm not just based in one place. I move around, and she was wearing a pair of Jackie O's.
Mm-hmm.
But the original Jackie O, because there's two, right? So she walks in, and I said, "That's a pair of Jackie O's." She said, "How do you know?" And then 1 year later, she walked into the store that I was in. And I said to her, that's a pair of Jackie O. She said to me, you said that to me last time in another store. I didn't even remember her. I'm so sad that I know this stuff.
You know,
my
the
memory's
frame
bad.
Well, I know the frame rather than the name of the person wearing it, like that I sold the glasses to. So I've been there.
I do not know the person I sold it to. Forget their name.
Oh,
I know their prescription. I know their frame.
Yeah, the model number, all of that.
Oh,
I know
man.
that lens type. Now, but back to that gentleman that was at the bar there. His glasses were completely out of adjustment. And I said to my husband, I said, oh, do you think it'd be okay if I go over and talk to him and just ask him if I could just adjust his frames? Because, yeah, it bothers me too. So that's exactly what I did. I asked him. He was happy to let me use his glasses to readjust them and realign them and make them fit better and feel better. Because when that nose pad is digging into your bridge and you have a red spot there, it gives extra relief. Plus, it looks better, right? Visually.
I love you. You could be my sister from another mister.
We can make that happen.
You and I could be dangerous together.
We could do things.
The other thing that drives me crazy. Have you ever seen this before? I'm going to try and attempt to do something. Have you ever seen that bottle? Hold on. That bottle there. You ever seen that before?
I can't quite get in there and see it.
It's an optical bottle that usually would give you a shot of brandy or scotch.
Oh, we don't have that over here.
Okay, so I was in Germany. You know the Munich show is in January. So I see this guy, George. George is standing there and he's like really awkward. And I said to him, what is this bottle thing? I'll take it down, I'll show you. So you can see.
Are you going to have a shot? Is there liquor in that?
There's not. There's lens spray.
Or is it acetone? It's lens spray?
Yeah, so like I said to him, can I have that? He said to me, okay, no problem. He gets his order book out and he says, okay, where do you live? I said, London. He said, no, English people won't understand this concept. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's all to do with the theatre. I said, what do you mean? He said, look, what you got to do, you got to undo the top and it's got to be empty. And you get the customer to fill it in and they'll just keep coming back. I said, I want it. And he said, look, we've got no customers in England. So I became the distributor for this thing for about a year, and then I gave it to someone else. So like, it's easy to set up for you. You buy an optic from Costco and just put lens spray in it. And people keep coming back for this thing.
See, for me, I don't have a brick and mortar any longer. So how would I set that up?
Well, I'll get you one for your office. When I see you, I'll try and get you one. So it's in my office. I've got my own thing. So what I say to people on collection, sometimes I used to have a long queue of people waiting for me. And it was just for me to clean their glasses. I said, look, I've got other people that work here. So this is my trick. So I spray it and then I clean it with microfiber. But microfiber hates being wet. So I dry it with one cloth. And then I polish it with another.
But wait, you didn't spray the back side of the lens.
You're right.
So that's what I'll do. I'll spray the front and the back, and then I give it a bit of a rub. If I'm by a sink under lukewarm, cool water, if you can. And if not, this is what I tell my clients. If you don't have the lens spray, liquid just soaked on does wonders. It's an optician's tip.
But there's nobody like us that can do a lens that clear. Like, I love that. It gives me such satisfaction. Maybe like a hygienist that cleans lenses. I love cleaning lenses for people.
But we are the hygienist of our industry, or we are in the pharmacy, the farm tech, right, of the medical industry, where the optician is, hand in hand to the optometrist and ophthalmologist.
I have a question for you, Kim. Where's the most unusual place you've adjusted someone's glasses not in practice?
Well, that was the Las Vegas trip, right?
You told us, okay.
So I just already shared that with you. If something else comes to mind, I'll definitely share that. But I'm not afraid to go up and talk to people. I think that's a big thing also, is part of, it's not even customer service. It's just like how you show up in the world. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be that quiet person that sits back and watches everybody? Or do you want to be out there engaging with the people? And I come from a family where my dad and my mom, they really focused on positive motivation and would send myself and my sister to positive motivational summer camps. So we our family was always very.
Do you know what they were called?
Positive.
Do you know, was it the Landmark Forum? What was it called?
It was so long ago. I want to say it was called Circle A. So there was this camp that we went to. We had to fly to. We were in Canada, but the camp was in the U.S. and it took us two planes to get there. And so that our parents were, had us flying all over the place on our own when we were in our early teens. So
you've turned out amazing. You're an amazing human being. You can just see your energy, and like, if I was to be looked after by you, I want to be looked after you again.
You're like, I want her.
I want anyone else. I want you.
I want you.
I want you. You're like great. And our patients, has this ever happened to you? This happened to me multiple times. So they get a death in the family and they just arrive. I don't know. They just come to this safe space, or they'll say, the patient will tell me things that you think.
Oh, I see. Kind of like your hairstylist, you'll tell everything to. They feel like they feel comfortable enough to be open. Well, I'm getting that more and more now. I was just thinking about this the other day, because I'm going into my clients' spaces, or we're meeting in a cafe or a wine bar. I get extra social time with my clients, and I get to know them. I'll buy them that coffee, or I'll buy them lunch. It's taken my business to an entirely different level, where I end up being that person where they always think of me for their glasses going forward. Because
you're going to get recommended by others as well. It's going to keep going, blah, blah, blah. What you offer is so unique. Mm-hmm. In the world, there's not many people that pick up, go, stylist. Maybe it might exist for cheaper frames, but you're doing something truly, truly unique, and I have to acknowledge you for that. That I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's a hustle. It doesn't come easy. I am out and about all the time, like you probably have seen from my social media, because I have to be. I am a new business. My business has been I incorporated it 2 years ago. So for 2 years, I'm coming up to my 2 year anniversary, and now I'm starting to get the referrals on the referrals, and now I'm really starting to see the momentum happening. But it's still, I'm still out there networking and bringing the business
Are
in.
you doing anything BNI, Business Network International? Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
I,
I
I
have.
that
I
was
have.
how I started. My business wasn't doing great at the beginning, and
Mhm.
a lady came in, a patient, and she said, "Have you ever thought of networking?" I said, "I truly
Yeah.
said, what is networking?" She said, "Ah, you got to go to this thing called BNI," and I found it very, very. They would love you.
Well, I was involved with my first networking event was called the JC's Junior Chamber of Commerce. And it was dedicated for people between the age of 20 and 40. Once you're 40, you're kicked out of the club. But
Boo.
I learned in that group how to network and work a room. And once I was standing there at one of my last events that I was at, and I was looking around, and everyone was wearing glasses by me, and I said, I think my job is done here. It's time to move on to the next thing. And that's exactly what I did. And so I now fast forward to today, I'm trying to find that group that I feel comfortable in. So this last year I've been going around to different events. I have been to a BNI lunch. BNI is a little bit too structured for me in the process that they follow. So I like things to happen more organically.
Me too. I don't know how I've managed to stay there 18 years. It's the only structured thing. It's the only structured thing I do in my life. I love chaos and crazy and fun and fast, and I go there. It's like my meditation.
Ah,
But
okay.
people know me. Like if you type into Google on your site, Gary the Optician, I come up first. Wherever you are in the world, Gary the Optician. So people will say
Amazing.
Gary the Optician. But you see, with me, I have two loves. I have the love of opticians, and I also love marketing. Marketing
Ah.
for me is so fun.
And my husband, I'm married to a husband. My husband has a marketing agency, and he focuses on digital marketing, right? So that definitely, I have that in my back pocket too to help support me in my business. And but
Have you opened
also,
a Google business profile yet?
yes.
And this is do you know Dennis Jung from Yahoo? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You don't need to know the guy.
Okay.
He told me, he said, look, Gary, when you go to when you go from home to work, do me a favor and turn on Google Maps. I know you know how to get home, but just go on Google Maps and it gets you more traffic. So when you're on your way home, where I guess that's your registered Google business profile, go to Google Maps. Like it really works. It makes your phone ring more.
Oh, go to. So how am I doing that
Right. So
exactly?
you're a client. You got to
Okay.
go home.
Right.
You go to Google Maps and you type in your
Yes.
business, what your business is,
Your business profile. Yep.
business profile, and then you press home maps, and it will tell you the route to go home,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
I have that
counts.
already. Oh,
Yeah,
it counts as
it
a visit.
counts towards your your credit. It's
Oh.
in marketing talk they call it a signal. It signals to Google that.
Yeah. But those signals also are included with those reviews. So,
Oh, that's a good signal.
and getting the client feedback for recognizing all the great things that you did. And I think in the world today, too many people talk about negative things. Let's turn that around and start talking about positive things. Not just in our industry. I always make an effort. If I had great service in a business, I will make a post review. It doesn't cost us anything. If we're supporting small businesses, that's what it's about, especially now. I don't know what it's like in the UK, but over here in the city that I am in, the smaller independent businesses, we're losing them to the big box, and
We need
it's
to
very
support
sad.
those guys. We need to support those guys.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying, I'm looking for something we disagree on. Like everything you're saying, I agree. 100%. if I had an eye stylist here, I would be coming to you for sure. Do you call half rimless Supra? Do you call that Supra?
No.
What do you call
No,
that?
we call them semi-rimless.
Semi-rimless. Right, we call them Supra here, which is very
Oh,
confusing because
what
Essilor
is
called
that?
Supra a hard coat.
Oh, so Super AR is what it was called, I think.
Yeah, so Supra
Yeah.
in this country has become so unpopular. No one really wears them. You in Canada?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And that lens that you're putting into that frame, that style needs to be a 1.6. I don't fit the poly lenses. I just don't like the Abbey value and the acuity
Let's see
that my
what a
client.
geek you are. What's the Abbey value to a polycarb? And
Oh,
I just happen to know this. It's 30, 29. It's crap.
29.
It's crap.
And
Scratch is too
and
easy.
and a lot of the big box suppliers use the polycarb lenses, right? So that's why I use the most superior product out there to give the best possible vision, because they deserve it. We only have one
How do
set
you
of
take your
eyes.
measurements? Do you take your measurements with a PD rule? Do you have a pupilometer? Do you?
I have also an app,
Ooh.
pupilometer. I use I don't have one here on my desk right now, but like it's a paint pen.
Posca.
Have you ever? Yes, the Posca pen.
Graffiti artist. It's a graffiti artist number one pen. That's what they do
Number one
graffiti
pen.
with.
And behind you, you have a graffiti mural, and my son has a mural very similar in
No
his bedroom.
way.
I'll need to take a
Man.
picture of it and send it to you because it's very close.
Uh, do you go to optical shows in Vegas and New
I
York and
have, yeah. The optical shows in North America have changed quite a
they
bit
have?
over the last few years, and I'm really focusing on the smaller independent shows. For instance, there's that new show that just came out. It's called Eyeball. It's in Palm Springs. Have you heard about this one?
I want to go.
Okay, let's go next year.
All right. See, if I bring
It's
my
on my
wife,
list.
that's a holiday, a busman's
Perfect.
holiday.
You'll love Palm Springs. It is so awesome. And just to be in California would be nice.
Can we
Better
talk about
weather.
frame buying? Is
We
there
can,
time to
yes.
talk about frame buying? Because you have the eye. Now, a
Mm.
bad frame buyer will buy 10 frames. Half will just stay in a drawer somewhere, never to be seen again. What are your tips for everyone that's watching when you're buying frames? It's a lot of stock, it's a lot of pressure. Like, how do you know? What do you look at?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, I've been buying frames for many, many years. I do go with some of the bread and butter frames
You
because you
have to.
always
You
need you
have to.
always need those in your collection, because sometimes you'll start with that bread and butter frame and then you'll move on to that let's step outside of the box frame, right? I always do that when I'm sitting down with a client. But if I look at trends. I follow social media. I'll see what else is happening. I'm really connected in with the UK to see what's happening over there, because usually the UK trends will end up coming over to North America. So because you guys are so advanced over there. So the
I think the
aviators.
British are so boring. Like
Oh, you think? Oh, well, you think?
the
Okay.
shows are
Well,
interesting, but when you go into a British opticians, then the colours are not. I used to
yeah,
say to
but
the reps, I'd say, show me what everyone else doesn't like. Because I think if you sell a brown, boring, rectangular frame, that person will take it home and people don't even notice they've got a new pair of glasses. Your glasses you're wearing are so wonderful on you. They're young, they're
these ones.
fun, there's enough depth there for the very focal. They're beautiful. I love them.
This one is going to be my newest one. So this
Oh, look at
is
that bridge.
the
Wow.
bridge is interesting. So this one is a Thema frame. This is one of my custom bespokes.
Have you have you
And
have you 3D printed that?
no. Have I
It's
3D printed it?
acetate, right?
It's acetate. Yeah, it's acetate.
It's beautiful. It's so unusual.
But this is very, very, very unusual. So, so when I talked about that glasses 7 days of the week, my client could choose the style and then we go 7 colors deep. Because I love a good aviator, and aviators are on point for trend right now.
I agree, and I love a lot of people don't stock upswept, And I think if you've got the right shaped face, like we love an upswept frame, love it. Oh my God, how have you got all these? I feel I haven't got enough next to me.
because
I love it.
These are all my new ones I need to put lenses into.
That fits your bridge so what? Like, I really like that.
Good.
That's lovely.
Good.
I
don't usually go into a tortoise, but tortoise is a great classic color for so many different face and skin tones.
I love that. What brand is that?
This one's Saint Laurent.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah, Saint Laurent. But again, with that upsweep. So what I will talk about this shape, and this shape is so important when you have women that are maybe middle-aged, maybe 40 and up. The upsweep pulls the eye upwards. So that way they don't have to go get the extra needles in their face. They can do it with their glasses.
I go into practice and I say, where are your upswept glasses? And they say, we don't stock that shape. And
Weird.
How can you not stock that shape?
Yeah. And this shape here, maybe I'll bring it a little bit closer.
Love that.
So this up in here, oh, sorry. There we go. This right here. It's a brow lift. So these brow lift frames are also your client that will be wearing this frame.
Yeah, and right? They're gonna feel they're gonna feel great in that frame because they'll stop traffic. They'll feel young and it's good and it will be. But sometimes we're talking to our patients and it's out of their comfort zone and it's their future self, not their current self. You need the art of persuasion. Sometimes I always say to the less experienced colleagues, is they've got like about 20 frames to choose from. They're down to the last 20. I try and keep it to 3. So I'll say, all right, good, let's take this one away. Have you got a sweet spot of a number that you'll get it down to 6 or 7 or?
Okay, I don't even operate that way. Even when I was in our stores, the brick and mortar stores, I would always sit my client down at the desk and then I would pull frames for them. It is very intimidating for clients to walk into these stores or walk out of the doctor's examining room and see the walls of glasses.
They all look the same.
Are so overwhelmed. And I just took that away and I have them sit down and I'll basically say, do you mind if I choose frames for you? And they're like, yes, absolutely. I would love that. And I no more than 5. So the first choice is the frame you're going to put on that client. That's going to be the one that they're going to go with. So make sure it's a good first choice pick, right? Yeah.
That is, I don't know when that happened to me, but I'll have like 600 frames and then I'll pick the first one. They'll do the one on the first one.
Yeah. And ideally, it's about creating the eyewear wardrobe, not just one pair of glasses. You don't have one pair of shoes. Why would you have one pair of glasses? It doesn't suit all your visual needs. And my next thing now, when I'm talking to my clients, if they're wearing progressive lenses, they need to have a computer pair or a work desk pair, which is used as a tool at their desk. Everyone is sitting on these screens for most of their days, sometimes 8 to 10 hours. And do you have a computer lens in any of your glasses yet?
Yeah.
Okay, right? So opening up that corridor and
do you have a favorite?
Well, right now I'm using the Shamir workspace.
Big hello to Shamir. You need to pay this lady money. Kim's gonna be their brand ambassador the next time I see you. Be like, I'm just looking after Shamir globally. I'm wearing a Computer 3 Essilor.
Okay. And Essilor just came out with their new lens too, a new computer lens.
I don't know.
Now, again, I think things are different how they're launched across the world. So there's just different markets. Like for instance, the Shamir has the Glamour style lens. Do you know what that is? It has a slight tint, a 10% tint indoors.
Ooh, nice.
And then it goes into a transition outside. But you wear transitions. You love your transitions, don't you?
I do. I've got a pair like both pairs happen to be same. But I do need the pair that are not.
Yeah.
I always like to. There was this. I'll never forget this rabbi. He said to me, I said to him, get transition, good for your health. And he just couldn't do it. He couldn't go from out and then talk to his practitioners and then go back in. So there are certain jobs that maybe a transition might not work for, but I pretty much recommend them to everyone.
And which is why one pair of glasses is not going to suit all your visual needs.
So with transitions, I don't know if you do this, but it just takes a little bit longer. I went on a really boring course. Kim, really boring. 4 hours of migraine training, migraines. And they said
Okay.
that things can cause migraines, so you get a new animal. I could have done this course in about 15 minutes. So you
Huh.
get a new animal in the house and you suddenly are allergic, right? And you get a migraine. You change your washing up detergent. You might get a migraine.
Sensitivity.
Right.
Yep.
So you
Well,
ask your patients, like, has anything changed? Now, here's what I didn't know: that if you get a transition grey or a transition brown or green, it could, if it doesn't work well with your patient, it might trigger a migraine. 1 in a million, right? So I always put green, grey, brown. I always put the colours on them and just make sure. And I asked them, has any optician ever done this? They say no, but I really appreciate you taking the time to show me all the colours.
hmm and on that topic, if you have the tint or a tint of gray or green or brown, and they put it in front of the eye and look outside, I'll say which tint makes your eyes feel better.
Mm.
So it's about the wording and the your patient or your client's experience. Because I want them to feel the best that they can and see the best that they can out of their lenses. That's my job. And once that job is done, I'm happy. I'm just happy to help people.
This My show is usually only 20 minutes. I have absolutely loved hearing every second. I would love to work with you just for a day, just for the hell of it, right? Just for fun, and hear the different things that we talk about. Can Your mindset is so lovely. I love all people. And people say, no, Gary, there must be the odd one that annoys you. I really love people, and I see in you such a wonderful human being. You're such a lovely person. Can we just talk about mindset? Because I think a lot of opticians don't really like people, and they just fell into it. Like when I interview people, I say, why are you an optician? They say, oh, I didn't get into pharmacy, or my parents made me do this.
Mm.
Can you tell us a little bit about your mindset? How do you stay in that positive mindset? Is it something that you said from a child? Because your positivity is
Is it coming
it's
through?
lovely. I
It's
just
it,
feel it. It's just nice, and you want to stay
oh,
around you because you're
it's
just a nice person.
right. Well, I think it also has to do with yeah, my upbringing, with my parents, with the motivational side, and always it's about personal development. I think that's one of the key things that I always will be open to, whether it be in a book, of reading a book that's going to help me improve something in my life, or there's so many great podcasts now that you can hop onto and just plug it into your ear and
Do you
have a
want to just
listen
tell
on your
the
commute.
people watching this in your self development library, who are the kind of people you listen to? Because if I said that to some people, I say, well, how do you develop yourself? What do you read? And they look at me like, are you crazy? Like, I like Tony Robbins, basic stuff, being around other people. But who is your self
Right
development one?
now, I'm listening to a lady. Her name is Dr. Jody. She's a psychologist out of Alberta,
Hmm.
and she keeps it real. So if you're offended by any language, don't tune in. But she
Doctor,
really, Dr. Jody.
Doctor Jody. I'm gonna check her out.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah, so some of that. I also have a great marriage. I have a spouse that really lifts me up when we do the same for each other. So being on the same page with that. He's also involved in the Entrepreneurs Organization, which is a global organization for entrepreneurs. It's a CEO mentorship group, and they have forums in each city. So I'm sure UK probably has some as well. And I have been involved on the spousal side of EO. So EO also is personal development, but they also bring in great experiences and great speakers that are life changing and super powerful. So staying connected in things like that in your environment, in your world,
Yeah.
um, really help. I don't know, really help with the day to day things and help give you a vision looking forward.
I think the optical industry is so lucky to have you. That fashion flair that you have, your communication skills, how much you like your job, you love your job, and your patience and the connection. You
Yeah.
truly deserve to be called one of the best opticians in the world. I really think that you deserve that.
Thank
You're,
you.
you're great. And remember, I speak to a lot of opticians. Steve
Mhm.
Jobs, Steve Jobs, he said to me, not to me, he said he wanted to open a store. And all his board said, well, that's a crazy thing to do. We're online. And he said, no, no,
Mhm.
no. If I
Mhm.
open a store and I fill it full of enthusiasts for Apple product, it'll be fine. What makes me sad is we employ people in our industry that are not enthusiastic about frames. They put it on, oh, that one's not bad. Oh, that one's okay. Let me try this one. That
Mhm.
that doesn't spark
Joy.
confidence, joy.
Yeah, joy. I think that's it. Um, and, and I feel like in this industry as opticians, especially when I went through my training, they direct everyone back to the brick and mortar or to the optometrist or to the ophthalmologist or, yeah, open your own brick and mortar. But never in that training was there anything that mentioned about the mobile part of this business. And it's doable. I'm doing it. So if anyone out there wants to connect and ask me any questions, I am happy to do that. I also did create a training, which is an 8-week training. Actually, I give 10 weeks of coaching, but 8-week of training of doing the work and opening up your own mobile business. So that's kind
Wow.
of the
How much
direction.
should people contact you about the costs? Is that on your website? How
Yeah,
do we?
yeah, it's not on the website. I have made a few posts on LinkedIn, but they can reach out on my LinkedIn if they're wanting to get more
So
information.
if you're watching this anywhere in the world, this is something you could pick up. You can't go wrong. If you want, why recreate the wheel? Kim's already done it. She can give you a template and then
Hmm.
speed up the mistakes. Like, please go and contact Kim. She's the nicest. I'd love to come back. Maybe if I see you in Palm Springs, you and I can geek out and go and look at all the different frames. I'd love to do this again. This has
Yeah,
been
yeah.
so
I'm planning on
wonderful.
being there in Paris, so I'm planning for Silmo in September, and
Okay.
then Eyeball in February,
Well,
and then
September for
maybe
sure. Sorry?
maybe 100% optical if I can make it over there. So, but we will do things. Don't worry, and I'm always here to help you too. So if you have any support that you need from me, I'm here for you.
That's so kind, and that's not something you hear every day. And I think that but you really genuinely care about that. And I'm going to say that to you too. If you need anything from me as a colleague, I'd love
Yeah,
you pick up the phone. You ask me.
done, done, and done. I really enjoyed our time together.
Same. You have a wonderful evening. What time is it over there?
Oh, it's not evening; it's morning. It's 11 a.m.
11 a.m. You have the best day ever. I hope that I've helped springboard that. You've helped me, and this is great content. If you have a comment down below. Reach out to Kim, buy her calls, and this has been a ball. Thank you.
Okay, awesome,
They
awesome. Thank you so
they
much.
call
We'll
that
talk soon.
that's a pod. We're done.